What's up guys, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in this video I'm going to share with you some simple hitting tips that'll go a long way in helping you get more hits and increase your batting average. So let's get into it. All right, the first tip that's really going to help you out is the green light mentality. What do I mean by green light mentality? Well, I want you to think about driving a car. Imagine you're driving, right? And imagine you're just going along and there's a stoplight coming up. Well, when you're driving a car, your foot is either on the gas or on the brake, right? It's not going to be on the gas and the brake at the same time. It's on one or the other, right? And if you're driving and the light is green and there's no reason for you to be on the brake, then you're on the gas. You're on the gas until the light turns yellow or turns red, and that's when your eyes tell you, okay, I need to shift from being on the gas to being on the brakes. Okay, so how does this relate to hitting? Well, I think it's the exact same. In hitting, you've got to have this green light mentality. There's no reason for you to step in the batter's box thinking about a yellow light and trying to decide whether or not to swing, and there's no reason for you to be thinking it's a red light and be not ready to swing. You have to step in the batter's box with a green light mentality, okay? There's a green light up there, and there's no reason for you to tap the brakes until your eyes tell you that, hey, that's a ball, or hey, that's a pitch I'm not looking for. So I really think that's going to help you out. Be excited when you step in the batter's box. Have a yes, yes, no mentality or approach, and be telling yourself, look, I'm swinging until it's a ball. If it's a pitch, it's over the wide of the plate, I'm swinging. Green light all the way until your eyes, trust your eyes. They're going to tell you, okay, no, that's a pitch, it's a little bit outside, or no, that's a little up, or no, that's a pitch I'm not looking for, oh, that's a ball. And it's so much easier when you're committed to swinging, yes, yes, no. It's so much easier for you to tap the brakes then, as opposed to thinking about that yellow light or that red light and trying to decide whether or not to swing. So that's the first tip. It's really going to help you out. Remember that green light mentality when you step in the box. Going right along with that, the next tip is aggressive patience. So you need to be aggressive when you step in the batter's box. You're here to hit, but at the same time, you have to make the pitcher come to you. It's a balancing act, okay? It's a balance. We're not just up there aggressive and swinging at anything that we can get our bat on, because that's a good way to get yourself out, right? If you start chasing pitches that are outside the strike zone, that's a great way for you to not make consistent hard contact and get yourself out. We don't want that, right? We want to make the pitcher prove that he can throw the ball over the plate, and we want to be aggressive, but we want to be aggressive to strikes that are over the wide of the plate. So it's a balancing act. You need to step in the batter's box with that green light mentality, be ready to swing, and be aggressive, but be aggressive on good pitches. Show that aggressive patience, and if he can't get the ball over the plate, no problem. Take your baseball 4 and you're on base. You're setting the table for your teammates, okay? So it's a balancing act. You have to be aggressive, but at the same time, you got to have patience and good strike zone awareness and discipline to let those bad pitches go. Make him throw the ball over the dish. All right, third thing I want you to remember, if you're looking to be a good hitter, you need to time the fastball and adjust to the off speed. All right, the reason why we do this is because if you time the fastball, what you're doing is you're timing the fastest and the straightest pitch, and it's the pitch that plenty of pitchers rely on, and in fact, a lot of pitchers over-rely on this pitch, okay? So you're gonna see a lot of fastballs, and you're not gonna be a good hitter if you can't handle the fastball anyway, so that's really important. But when you time the fastball, then you're on time, obviously, for that fastball. You're going to see plenty of fastballs, but that also allows you to, if you recognize it's an off-speed pitch, you just keep your hands back and hold up for just a split second longer, and you can still hit that ball hard somewhere and make hard, consistent contact, right? That's the name of the game. But on the flip side, if you're trying to time up an off-speed pitch, let's say you're trying to time a changeup, you think a changeup's coming, and instead he juices a fastball, good luck getting your front foot down on time, and good luck speeding everything up. It's just so much harder to do that. So instead, I recommend time the fastball, and then if you do recognize, oh, this is a curveball, oh, this is a changeup, it's easy to just keep your hands back for a split second longer and still hit that ball hard somewhere. So good hitters, you got to time the fastball and adjust to everything else, not the other way around. Speaking of fastballs, the next thing is don't be late in a hitter's count. The reason being is because when you're in a hitter's count, when you have count leverage, 2-0, 3-1, something like that, you're gonna see a lot more fastballs. You cannot afford to be late on these fastballs. There's no excuse for you to be fouling a 2-0 or a 3-1 fastball that's a crushable fastball over the wide of the plate. There's no reason for you to be fouling that in the first base dugout because you're way late, or fouling it off to the right side, the first base side, if you're a right-handed hitter. You need to be excited, you need to be aggressive, you need to be ready to hit, especially in these situations. And if he throws you a fastball because he's afraid that he doesn't want to, miss with a breaking ball, if he throws you a fastball in one of these counts, you need to be on time, you need to square it up and hit it hard somewhere, okay? No excuse, don't be late in hitters counts if you're looking to get more hits and increase your average. This next one is a big one. Drop the other way obsession, okay? In other words, stop worrying about hitting the ball the other way so much. You need to hit the ball where it's pitched, and you need to use the entire field. So if he throws you an inside pitch, I think too many hitters are trying to take everything the opposite way, even an inside pitch or even a pitch over the middle of the plate. They're trying to stay inside the ball way too much and almost, hit a little blooper over the second baseman's head the other way, as opposed to if it's an inside pitch, you should hit it this way and you should drive the ball to your pull side. If it's a pitch that's right over the middle, you should stay in the middle of the field, and if it's an away pitch, that's the time when you take the ball to the opposite field, okay? So I'm not saying never hit the ball the other way, but you need to use the entire field, spray it all around. That's what makes good hitters, and that's what makes a hitter who gets a lot of hits and who hits for a high average is someone who hits the ball where it's pitched. I watched a video one time of Ken Griffey Jr. talking to Mike Trout, and he compared it to jousting, and he basically said, it's jousting between you and the pitcher. If he throws it this way, in other words, if he throws it inside, you go this way, you pull it. If he throws it this way, then you take it that way, okay? But don't be, too many young hitters are so obsessed about staying way too far inside the baseball and hitting everything the other way. I don't recommend that. I recommend use the entire field, and wherever the pitch location is, that's going to determine where you actually hit the baseball. You also want to be sure that you keep your head between your feet throughout your entire swing. So it really doesn't matter how you set up in your stance, but in your stance, obviously you want to have balance. Well, to be balanced, my head is right in between the middle of my feet here, right? And then when I load, I don't want my head to be moving all over the place, right? I want to minimize that head movement, and I'm going to, have a nice quiet load to where I can actually see the baseball, recognize what pitch is coming out of the hand, and recognize, am I swinging at this pitch or am I taking this pitch, right? You got to be able to make that decision, and the only way you can do that is if you have a quiet load, your head stays quiet and your eyes stay quiet because of that, okay? And so I think this approach of keep your head between your feet throughout your entire swing is going to help you stay balanced and stay quiet and help you see the baseball a lot better. All good hitters, when they're in their stance, their head is between their feet, okay? And when they load, their head stays in between their feet. When they stride and they get to their launch position here, my head is still in between my feet. At the point of contact, same thing. My head is not out here. My head is not way back here, right? My head is right between my feet. And then even as you finish your swing, your head is still going to remain right in between your feet. That'll really, really help you with your balance. I think that's a little intricacy of the swing that not a lot of coaches are talking about these days, but try it out. I think it'll really help you out. Head between your feet. So we've covered some good stuff so far. I got a few more tips for you. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. But the next thing is focus on hitting the ball hard, not on getting hits. And the reason why is because I always say control the controllables, and getting a hit is something that is actually an output, and it's something that's outside your control. The only thing we can control is hitting the ball hard. That's the input that you need to worry about. So get a good pitch to hit and put a good swing on it and hit the ball hard somewhere, and you have to let the rest take care of itself. It's almost like, shooting a bow and arrow, okay? What your focus needs to be is doing everything you can to, when you release that arrow, it starts going on the trajectory that you want it to go on, right? But this is the only thing that you can focus on, control the controllables. As soon as I release that arrow, once it leaves my bow, right, I have no control over it. So I need to do everything in my power that I can do beforehand to make sure I do a good job with the things right here, right now, right where I am. Control that, and then you got to let the rest take care of itself. So same type of thing as shooting a bow and arrow. I can't control the arrow and the flight of it, the trajectory once it leaves my bow, right? I got to take care of business right here, right now. Same thing when it comes to hitting, right? All you can worry about is hitting the ball hard, not necessarily getting hits. This next tip, I know it sounds like common sense, but it's so important. Keep your head down through contact, okay? In batting practice, during your tee work, and even during a real game, you really need to overemphasize watching the ball, right? It's the first thing that you hear when you're a young player learning how to play the game of baseball for the first time. You hear, watch the ball, see it, watch the ball, watch the ball. And sometimes we lose this, and you have to remember mechanics and timing and all that stuff's great, but if you don't watch the ball, you're not gonna have a really great chance of actually making contact and squaring that ball up, right? So you've gotta see the baseball, overemphasize watching the baseball, and keep your head down through contact. So So not just when you get to the point of contact here, that's great to have your head down, but you really need to, as you're driving through the baseball and as you're finishing your swing, keep your eyes here. Don't look up. It's like golfers at the driving range. As soon as they make contact with the ball, they have a tendency to look up and see where it's going. And what the good golfers do is they keep their head down, and they'll have plenty of time to look up and see their perfect ball flight, just like you'll have plenty of time to look up and see, you know, the ball soaring into the gap, or, you know, the ball flying over the fence, right? But keep your head down through contact. This is a skill. I know it sounds basic and easy, but it's a skill that you constantly need to work on. Don't pull your head off of the ball right here. You need to see the baseball all the way to the baseball bat, right, if you can, and keep your head down here through contact as you finish your swing high. Last but certainly not least, another tip that I think will really help you get more hits and increase your batting average is adding a drag bunt to your arsenal. Now, this is not going to be something that you use all the time, at least for most hitters, but it's great to have this in your back pocket when the rare opportunity presents itself. So if the third baseman is not paying attention, or if he's playing way too far back, or if you've got a pitcher who falls off the mound, right? If you got a left-handed pitcher, let's say, who falls off to the first base side, might be a great opportunity for you to lay down a drag bunt on the third base line, okay? So again, this is not something that you're gonna use all of the time, but it might be a great thing to have in your arsenal for when the rare opportunity does present itself, or maybe on a day that you're just not feeling your best, maybe you're not seeing the ball very well, or maybe you're just struggling at the plate and you're trying to eke out a hit somehow. Maybe a drag bunt is something that you should have in your arsenal. So I think every single hitter out there, no matter what age you are, no matter what your speed level is, you should learn how to successfully drag bunt. I've made other videos on this in the past, so I'm not going to get too crazy into the mechanics in this particular video, but there's nothing really to it. You just want to show later than you would on a sacrifice bunt. And for right-handed hitters, all you're doing is you're setting your bat angle and you're dropping your back foot just like this. Notice how I'm already going down the first base line. That's all there is. I set my bat angle. I start from the top of the strike zone. All I did, I didn't really move my front foot at all. I just dropped my back foot like this, and I catch the baseball with my bat, and I pinch it close to the line here. I want it to be fair or foul, not back towards the pitcher. But add a drag bunt to your arsenal. I really think that'll help you get more hits, increase your average. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on. That way you never miss any of our new baseball videos we're coming out with on a weekly basis. So subscribe and join the UBT family. And last thing, hitters, I put together a free resource for you. I really think it's going to help you out. It's called the Contact Point Checklist, and this is going to help you make sure your swing looks picture perfect at the point of contact so that you can improve your consistency at the plate and your bat speed and your power. So 100% free. All you have to do is click on the link down below in the comment section or in the description. Go download that right now. Like I said, 100% free. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.